Hello everyone, Michael Voris here to tell you the download is back. I'll be on regularly with Christine Niles and Simon Rafe and a fourth special guest host from the CM crew. We're going to have in-depth discussions on the big news of the day and, of course, indispensable analysis from a Catholic perspective. So don't miss the download premiering on YouTube at 5 p.m. Eastern every weekday. God love you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Voris. Easter blessings for you and your loved ones as we continue through the octave celebration of our Lord's resurrection. After a little more than a century, it's come down to this, the head-to-head battle between world communism and the universal church, world atheism versus the authentic religion, For those who truly understand, there can be no surprise about this. It was and is inevitable. And here's the rub. The so-called conservative movement, which is credited with pushing back against communism, is totally ill-equipped because they are fighting the wrong war. This is a spiritual battle, the conflagration between the forces of atheism versus the Catholic Church. It is not a foreign policy war. It is not a war over taxation or the value of the dollar or whether the border crisis is actually a crisis or not or what kids should be taught in classrooms and all of that. Every one of those and all the rest are merely symptoms, the outgrowth of the larger war. They are skirmishes, distractions really, that the right is fighting while the left is pushing its case hard and fast with stunning success. The goal of world communism is global domination, but not just global domination on its own, but with such mastery that it can never be challenged. The only moral force on earth that is capable of challenging the hegemony of world communism is Catholicism. The reason the communists must consign America to the garbage dump of history is because America, for all its many faults, still operates on the foundational principles of Catholic morality, if even just on the last fumes of it. The Catholic Church is the enemy of communism, not just mere religion, but this religion, because this religion is established personally by the Son of God, and communism rejects, as a matter of policy, the very existence of God. What the commies have done is a kind of reverse engineering type of battle plan. They've not attacked the church directly. Instead, they've gone after the moral underpinnings of the church's theology. They've taken, for example, the notion of free will and perverted it into a depraved sense of freedom, a freedom with no consequences. They've played to the most base passions of the citizenry and encouraged them to throw off the chains of morality. And once the morality of a nation is gone or nearly gone, there's no real coming back from that. How people interact with each other, how they relate to each other, is the basis for a civilization. And if that is corrupted, everything else falls apart. The commies would never have had any realistic hope of defeating the West economically. America was on the ascent as a world power in the aftermath of World War I and cemented its place there after the Second World War. As the Soviet Union found out, dueling with the dominant, by far and away, dominant economic force in the world, again, by far and away the dominant one, comes at a heavy cost. But the Soviet Union was merely the body that world communism inhabited for a while. Once it was defeated, communism went on to infect another host, Western morality, which is to say the system of societal relation expounded by the Catholic Church. The family, always held up as the domestic church, needed to be radically undermined, and since morality and the family were so tightly bound together, to go after one would mean the destruction of the other. Enter the sexual revolution. Divorce and remarriage, as well as contraception, would soon take their place in the pantheon of American custom, which, on its march to destruction of the family, would score tremendous victories. Now, after decades of this, the grandchildren of the sexual revolution, even the great-grandchildren, are embracing socialism with all its anti-Catholicism. There is only one path possible moving forward to perhaps save a nation, and that is the embrace of Catholic morality as it used to be. Whether the clock has already run out in this remains to be seen, but it is the only viable solution. As socialism and Marxism were emerging in the middle to the late 19th century, the church immediately recognized the evil and not only recoiled in the face of it, but condemned it in no uncertain terms, because the church recognized who she was ultimately battling against. Not what, who. The father of communism is Satan, and the only way to win against Satan is to embrace the means of victory over him provided by God, His holy Catholic Church. God love you. I'm Michael Voris.